right, good evening and welcome to Voice of the People 90.3 FM, the number one station that gives you a voice all over the world. My name is Choma Innocent, and it's about time for another enlightening, educating, and informative episode of the recap right here on the number one station that gives you a voice. As you know, I'm never alone for this program. I do have my analyst sitting right across from me right now, and I'll be introducing him shortly so that we can talk about issues that made the major headlines during the week. Yes, that's what we do here on the recap. Every weekend, we discuss and analyze major news stories that made the headlines during the week. And that is what we're here for today, as usual. So fasten your seatbelt. It promises to be an exciting and amazing and informative and enlightening session. Today, we have quite a number of topics to discuss today, as usual, and I want to take you on a brief rundown of these topics. And when I give you a brief rundown of these topics so that you can know the topics that you will be contributing to as the program progresses, we'll be beginning with Chief Bode George explaining how Tinubu stopped him from leaving Nigeria. So that's topic number one, how Tinubu stopped me from leaving Nigeria, by Chief Bode George. And from there, we'll be looking at the George returning Nnamdi Kanu's case to Binta Nyako just 2 weeks after she recused. Yes, we'll also be looking at the World Bank earlier this week saying the federal government must sustain its current reforms in spite of the hardship on Nigerians. In fact, the World Bank Vice President Nnamdi said these reforms will have to be sustained for the next 10 to 15 years and Nigeria will be better. How many people will be here in the next 10 to 15 years? We'll also be looking at the federal government saying to Nigerians that you must endure, don't curse or speak evil about our country. And we'll be looking at the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, saying Nigerians are not making so much noise about 1,000 naira per litre of petrol due to improved power supply. Power Minister, what are you talking about? The national grid collapsed again this morning for the third time in 1 week. So what are you really talking about? And finally, we'll be looking at HURIWA, that's the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, saying the Bola Tinubu University in Aba is hypocrisy taken too far. And they are saying stop the personality cult now. Well, this and more we'll be discussing on the program today. We'll take a brief break, and when we return, it will be time for me to introduce my analyst to you, and then we'll delve right into the crux of the conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Guess what? We're streaming live on YouTube, so you can also join us live on YouTube. Head on over to your YouTube app. All you need to do is type into the search bar VOP 903 FM. VOP 903 FM. Just type that into your search bar. You can get to watch us live and direct right here in the studios. We definitely want to hear from you, or Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're here to make sure that you have a voice. If we don't give you a voice, wait till we gain. My name is Choma Innocent, and the next voice that you will hear belongs to Mr. Peter Anosike. He's a revered journalist with many years of experience. He's also a political, social, and national and public affairs analyst, and he is a political analyst for today to discuss issues that made the major headlines during the week. Always a pleasure to have you here. Good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure. We have quite a bit to discuss, but let's talk about Chief Bode George, first of all, saying why he did not leave Nigeria. That was after the elections, the way he said he would, and he's explaining how the president stopped him from leaving Nigeria. Now, he's the former deputy national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, that's the PDP, which is supposed to be the main opposition party in the country at this moment. He's saying President Bola Tinubu sent his chief of staff, that's Femi Gbajabiamila, to ask him, Chief Bode George, to reconsider his decision to leave Nigeria following President Tinubu's election victory. Now, in 2022, After President Tinubu, the incumbent President Tinubu announced his presidential bid in January, Chief Bode George threatened to leave the country. In his words, he said, "I'll move away from Nigeria. I will leave because he'll be a representative on the international plane. Which investment will he bring here? I'm not talking because I have any hatred for him. That is not the kind of person we can hand over this massive country to manage. He will be the greatest joke on the international plane. We should bother who should lead us. If by whatever chance he gets to the villa, I won't be part of this country, and I am not joking. I can go to Ghana and be watching with binoculars from afar. You will see what will happen." But recently, talking during a television appearance, Chief Bode George said, "Oh, the President Chief of Staff visited me with a message from the President and asked me to please reconsider my position, and that's why I'm still in Nigeria at the moment." I really want to hear what you have to say about that. Please keep it civil, keep it polite. Do we have an agreement?
Well, for me, it is very, very unfortunate that people don't care what others think about them, and those who are looking up to them. That's because this is a disappointment to whoever have Chief Bode George as his role model. A man don't talk with the both sides of the mouth. A man of integrity cannot talk with both sides of the mouth. So, Bode George said that if Boname Tinubu wins, he will leave this country because he's not the kind of person that we need as a president. That he's not going to bring anything to the country. That his administration is going to be a disaster. This is what Bode George said. But a year after, when I begin to hear Bode George talking, I was even thinking that he's speaking from UK or from the United States, only to know that he's still in Ikoyi. Only to know that he's still in Ikoyi. Then, when the chief of staff, according to him, Bojabi Amina visited him, why didn't he tell the Nigerians or show us a picture where Bojabi Amina visited him? So this is this is one of the enemies of PDP. This is one of the those who have been sabotaging PDP. Bode George has never delivered his word to PDP. He has never delivered his word to PDP because politics start from the word. Every politician has a word. To show that you are strong, you must be able to deliver your word. But Bode George has never delivered his word, and the only reason is because he is working against PDP. And this is a clear case of what he had been doing. Bode George told us that it is still 1 year. It is that he cannot criticize Tinubu under 1 year. That he should give him 2 years. That's what Bode George said. After Tinubu's 1 year in office, people went to him and asked him, "What do you think of Tinubu's 1 year in office?" He said that it is too early to criticize. That Tinubu should be given at least another year. And every person who understands Nigeria knows that something must have exchanged hands. So, and
you're saying the reason why he more or less recanted what he said before, or why he didn't go through with what he said, is because he's gotten something from the president.
Something must have exchanged hands.
Something must have. That is speculation, because he could have seen something that made him change his mind.
That's the thing. That is the thing. That's the thing. But for me, my concern is those who are still using him as a role model. When somebody you are using as a role model do B, that say B and begin to do B, say A and begin that to do B, you know that you are having a wrong person as a role model. Because the word is about integrity. You must stand on whatever you say as a man. Wondo Soyinka did the same thing in 2016. He said if Donald Trump wins, he will tear his green card. Donald Trump won free and square. Until today, he is still holding his green card. He never tore his green card. So, and these are people who the youth are looking up to. And you can imagine if elders can be behaving this way, what do you expect the youths? So this shows you that the generation that we have now are spoilers. That's why Nigeria is not moving in the right direction, because the leaders don't have integrity. The leaders don't stand on their words. The leaders are always they always compromise. They're always complicit. Imagine all the bad things that he said about Tinubu. It was Bode George that carried the issue of Tinubu not being a negotiation on his head. That Tinubu is from Irabaji in Osun State. It was him that was exposing everything about Tinubu, but now he has completely changed. In the last, for almost 18 months now, he had not criticized Tinubu's administration upon what Nigerians are going through every day by day.
The issue you have with him right now, is it just that he has not criticized this administration, or the fact that, like you said, he's talking from both sides of the mouth?
He talks from both sides of the mouth. When a man says, I'm going to die, understand me, I will die, the next thing is for his people to go and look for a casket, because he must die.
And he's not allowed to change his mind that he no longer wants to die.
That makes you lose integrity. That makes you lose that shows weakness. When you say A and do B, it shows that you are a very weak person, that you have integrity. In the morning, you should be who you are. In the afternoon, you should be who you are. In the night, you should be who you are. In the morning, you should stand by your words. In the afternoon, you must stand by your words. In the night, you must stand by your words. So when Bode George said if Tinubu wins, he will leave this country, he will go on exile, every Nigerian expected him to go on exile. So saying that Tinubu sent somebody to come and beg you doesn't make any meaning. Even Tinubu could not even come by himself. He has to send somebody to come and beg you. Understand me? When Tinubu was declared the winner, Tinubu went to Tony Enumenu's house. He didn't send anybody to go to Tony Enumenu. He himself went to Tony Enumenu's house. Tinubu is living in Ikoyi. Bode George is living in Ikoyi. Understand? What stopped him? If he has respect for Bode George, why didn't he go personally and tell him, my friend, stay? But these people, they don't value their name. They don't value integrity. They don't care what history thinks about them. Understand me?
Okay, we have quite a number of topics to discuss, but we'll be coming back to that one. Let's take other topics because of our time. It's 22 minutes past 4 p.m. right here on the number one station that gives you a voice. This is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. I'm the moderator on the program today. My name is Chioma Innocent, and the voice you've been hearing belongs to Mr. Peter Anosike, and he's analyzing on the program. Today, we've been talking about Chief Bode George saying how President Tinubu stopped him from leaving Nigeria after he had said in 2022 that he would leave the country if President Tinubu wins the 2023 general elections. Let's talk about Justice John Soho returning Nnamdi Kanu's case file to Binta Nyako just 2 weeks after she recused herself from the trial. That was after Nnamdi Kanu actually asked her to recuse herself from his trial because he did not trust her to be unbiased in her judgment.
Well, what Nnamdi Kanu said is what happens in the judiciary system. If your case is assigned to a court, to a judge, you feel that you will not get justice, you have the power to say, reassign my case to somewhere else because I will not get justice in this court. Because court is all about justice, not legal system. So what Nnamdi Kanu did is the right thing. It's not new. It has been happening. But why the Justice Binta Nyaku know that it is the right thing, and he accepted that he's going to leave on the case. He sent the case to the chief judge to assign. But because they know that Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any offense, they know that they cannot jail Nnamdi Kanu because they cannot find anything substantial to jail him. They decided to be throwing other case from that case file from one judge to the other. The excuse that Soho give was that it should be put in writing. Understand me? That the case should be put in writing. So they are now going back and forth simply because they have nothing on this man. Because Justice Nyako himself has said that it will be very, very difficult to convict Nnamdi Kanu. So what they are going to do next is to, they are now, what they are doing is certainly hawking that case file. Who is going to accept this case file? Who is going to accept this case file? That's what they are doing at this point in time, because I'm sure that Justice Nyako is going to, in their next date, she's going to put it in writing that I have rescued myself from this case. Then they will now begin to look for another judge that will accept it and also begin to what Fenda called perambulation. They will begin to perambulate until Tinubu will say, okay, it's enough. Let us let this man go. Understand me? So why they are throwing that the case file up and down is because they have nothing on Nnamdi Kanu.
All right, you're listening to the recap right here on the Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Don't forget, we're also streaming live on YouTube. All you need to do is head on over to the YouTube app, type into the search bar VOP 903 FM, and you can get to watch us live and direct. I'm talking with Mr. Peter and Nosike on the program this afternoon. Let's move on over to our very next topic, and this is about the World Bank Vice President and Chief Economist, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, saying that the federal government should sustain ongoing reforms despite the hardship on Nigerians. In fact, he said that these reforms have to be sustained for 10 to 15 years in order for Nigeria to actually be better. In just 1 year and a few months, that's since May 29, 2023, then to May 29, 2024, this is October. So May, June, July, August, September. That's about 16 months. Many Nigerians, their lives were better 17 months than it is now. For many Nigerians, their lives were better 18 months ago than it is now. Many Nigerians who were millionaires on May 28, 2023 are now even less than 1,000 years. So when the World Bank is saying that these reforms, this flotation of the naira, this removal on fuel subsidy and even electricity subsidy, that it should be continued for the next 15 years and then lives will be better. How? And why does the federal government actually even keep going along with it? And I keep mentioning that when the Nigerian government knows better Nigeria's economic terrain, better than the World Bank or the IMF that gives these advices.
Well, for me, I feel disappointed that somebody will come to Nigeria and say this, and they will allow him, and people listen to him, and without making any reaction. Understand? Because I cannot be in such a gathering. Understand me? and an Indian will just come here, say that this suffering should continue for the next 15 years, and people were sitting on their seats and looking at him. That shows the kind of country that we have. Understand me?
When you say sitting on their seats and looking at him, what do you expect them to do?
Excuse me. When I was in the university, one day I attended a crusade. A pastor from South Korea came there. He showed us that a picture of Jesus Christ taken in South Korea, in Seoul. Understand me? A picture of Jesus Christ. I was on the front chair. Understand? So this Pastor Kim, that this is a picture of Jesus Christ taken in South Korea. And understand me? I was mad. What I did was I said, what the hell is this nonsense? I said it openly, stand up and walk out. And everybody there knew the reason why I stood up and walk out, because I can't take it. So there's nowhere the picture of Jesus Christ can be taken except in your own country. There are things that I personally cannot take. So you come to Nigeria and show me a picture of Jesus Christ taken in your own country, not in my own country. So Bob Bunny say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. So for an Indian to come here and begin telling you that this suffering should continue, that these so-called reforms should continue in the next 10 to 15 years, and Nigerians were sitting down looking at him, I was telling those who were at that gathering, shame unto them. Anybody who's a Nigerian sitting on that gathering and heard that, shame unto him or her.
You mean they should have expressed their displeasure
immediately? They don't have to waste time. That is death sentence on Nigerians. That this reform, even though it is causing suffering, should continue for the next 10 to 15 years. And people were there listening to him. Can he say that of his own country? So if something is not working, if people are suffering, then you say that people should continue to suffer for the next 10 to 15 years. Government is about the welfare of the people. Government is about the well-being of the people. Government is about the quality of life of the people. If not, there's no need to have government. So when somebody comes and tells me that this suffering that I'm going through should be sustained in the next 10 to 15 years, I cannot keep quiet. And those who heard that and kept quiet, shame unto them. The issue is this: World Bank, IMF, their mission is to keep Africa down. World Bank, IMF, their mission is to make sure that Africa cannot become a first world country. And that's what they are doing. And even they say that it will take Nigeria over 100 years to exit this abject poverty. 100 years. Imagine somebody coming to your country and telling you this kind of a thing. And again, when somebody cannot think, World Bank would always think for the person. When a president cannot reason, IMF will start reasoning for the country. And that's exactly what we are seeing at this point in time. They saw that there's no leadership in the country, and they are trying to provide one. So it is a gap that they are trying to fill. Traoré of Burkina Faso told the IMF, I don't need, go to hell with your loan. I will develop my country with what I have. And today, Burkina Faso is doing extremely well. Even about 2-3 weeks ago, Tagore said that he wants to put up a transition committee. Let them have a civilian president. There was a protest that he must not go. That people were protesting that he should continue in office. Can you imagine that? When he said, "I'm putting up a transition committee for a civilian to come into power," people came out and began to protest. And this is a young guy who saw IMF as an enemy of Africa, who saw World Bank as an enemy of Africa, and rejected any business with them.
The question now is, you've said it over and over again that the World Bank does not want Africa and Africans to develop. They want Nigeria and other African countries to remain as underdeveloped countries. And that is the reason why they introduced these reforms and then asked the governments of these countries like Nigeria now to, go ahead with these. And then they do. And that is why I asked the question, the federal government, the government of these African countries, they know their economy better. They know that already things were not so good. During Buhari, people were, of course, lamenting and really complaining. And then they go ahead with these policies. Is it that they don't know the effect it will have on the people? Is it that they don't care? Or just because they want to have access to these loans that will now be channeled back to the people as palliatives, which many of the people end up not even getting access to?
The issue is this. Before I said it on Monday, before you enter into an office, you must sign bonds. Understand me? And this bond begin when Nigerian presidential candidate begin to go to Chatham House in UK. Understand me? Nigeria presidential candidates has no business going to Chatham House for campaign, because Britons are not part of Nigeria. Britons will not be coming here to vote. Why going there to campaign? But this is one of the ways they sell our destiny to to foreign countries. Because I don't see any reason why a Nigerian presidential candidate will go to Chatham House for a press conference. Biden, Commander Harris, Donald Trump, none of them has ever come to go to another country for a campaign. None. Then why should Nigeria presidential candidate be going to Chatham House? For what? That's where they begin to sign a lot of bonds, which will hold them, which will tie their hands. And again, when you have presidents who have corrupt cases abroad, understand? So once you are corrupt, you are complicit, you have compromised, you are in the good book of the IMF and World Bank. Because once you refuse to do their bidding, they can throw Interpol on you. They can throw Interpol on you. So some of these African presidents that are doing bad, it's not really that they want to do bad, but because of the antecedents, their hands are tied. They must work for Western interest. They must work for Western interest in order to be free. So for me, the only way that Nigeria can move forward is to reject anything World Bank, is to reject anything IMF. For Nigeria to develop, it must be developed from within, not from without. And until our leaders realize this, Nigeria will continue to be in this state, even in the next 1 million years.
All right. So The next general elections are in 2027, and a lot of people are, of course, expecting the president to run for a second term and extend his tenure by another 4 years. So he has 2 terms as president. That will take about, if we add from now, this is 2024, to the end of his administration, and say he goes for a second time 2011, we must have done about half of the 15 years that the World Bank is saying these reforms must be sustained. What will be the state of Nigerians by then?
Well, whatever you see and you take, whatever you see and you take. For me, I said it in 2022. Nigerians vote right. I said it. If you vote wrongly, prepare to suffer, and that's exactly what is happening now. So I'm not even seeing the end of this suffering, because there's nothing on ground to show that this suffering would end soon. There's absolutely nothing. All this IMF policies, all this World Bank program that they are running is anti-people. But government is supposed to be pro-people. But IMF policies, World Bank policies are anti-Africans. Because in the other countries of the world, in India, that guy that came to Nigeria that can speak, that the vice president of the World Bank is an Indian. In India, food is highly subsidized. Energy is highly subsidized. But they will come to Africa and say, remove subsidy. In New York, which is the headquarters of IMF, there's subsidy for on energy for no income earners. But here they'll come to Africa and say remove subsidy. And our president will run with such an anti-people that's idea. So,
Mr. Anoske, the question is, what does it benefit the World Bank and the IMF to keep Nigeria or other African countries impoverished? If you say that that's what they're trying to do, what does it benefit them if the lives of Nigerians, of other African countries that are following these policies does not get better? What does it benefit them if Nigerians are dying of hunger?
They don't like you, they don't care for you. All they care is their interest. IMF, World Bank is a Western organization. Western countries don't like African countries. They don't want you to be like them, so they will always give you things that will keep you down. Before I came into this studio, I watched a video of a white man sharing bread somewhere at Ajawo State. I don't know if you see it. People were queuing, and a white man was giving them enough of bread each. I watched that video before coming to this studio. At Ajawo Estate, a highbrow area, Ajawo Estate, a white man was sharing bread, and the people queued up, and we are taking bread from him. So it's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate.
All right, it is exactly 42 minutes past 4 p.m. right here on the number one station that gives you a voice. This is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, and you've been listening to the recap where we discuss and analyze the issues that made the major headlines during the week, and we've been talking about quite a few of these issues. At exactly 5 p.m., the phone lines will be open so that you can call in and let's hear your thoughts on the issues which we're discussing today. Now, federal government to Nigerians, you must endure, don't curse or speak evil about our country. The call was made during the stakeholders engagement on the national anthem, identity project, values charter, and the renewed hope agenda in the Shogbo earlier in the week. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Malam Lare Issa Onilu, said the power of words and the importance of refraining from negative comments about the nation. So what the Director General of the National Orientation Agency is saying is, don't curse the country, don't say negative things about Nigeria, don't say Nigeria is evil, don't say Nigeria is bad, don't say Nigeria wants to kill you. I mean, don't say all those kind of things, so we don't project negativity into the country and into the economy. But the truth remains that it's not what Nigerians are saying that is making Nigeria good or bad. What say you, Mr. Nuskin?
So when Nigeria is bad and you say that it's good, has it changed anything? Has it changed anything? Has it changed the fact that Nigeria has been going on the wrong direction since 2015? One, you cannot control what a hungry man will say. You cannot control what somebody under pain will say. You cannot control what somebody who is suffering will say. He is saying that don't curse Nigeria because he is benefiting even though he's not doing anything. National Orientation Agency is supposed to be a very viable organization. National Orientation Agency is supposed to be a credible organization that will serve as a gap, as a fill-up gap between the government and the masses, that educating the masses on the policies and programs of government. But what that man is doing is playing politics. Go to Ikeja, where National Orientation Agency office is dead. Nothing is happening there. Nothing is happening there. Even I doubt the last time that electricity shown there. So the National Orientation Agency is dead because the people there are not performing. So saying don't curse Nigeria, it cannot stop a hungry man from being angry. Because Nigerians know that the government does not care for them. Nigerians know that government does not care whether they are dead or they are still alive. Okay, the 157 people that got burnt in Jigawa State, what made them that to go and start scooping fuel? It's poverty. It's hunger, because they can no longer afford it. If it's what they can easily afford, there's no way everybody know the risk of scooping fuel. But when you are hungry, you will not be thinking very well. When you are hungry, you will not be thinking very well. So that is why 157 Nigerians got burnt. Because they went to scoop fuel, which they cannot ordinarily afford on their own. And this is very okay. Now, upon that 157 people lost died. The president is still in, I don't know, they say it's France. Understand? If it's in other countries of the world, the president will have cancelled whatever he is doing and returned to the country immediately. The president will have cancelled whatever he is doing and returned to Nigeria immediately. But today, Nigeria is like a big orphanage. Understand? No president, no vice president. So today, as we speak, Nigeria is like a big orphanage. Imagine a house where the father is not there, the mother is not there, and the children are hungry.
But the presidency has said that doesn't matter. The fact that the number 1 and 2 are not in the country does not mean that there is a vacuum in the country's leadership.
I'm telling you, Nigeria is today a big orphanage. In a house where the father is not there, the mother is not there, the children are hungry. What do you feel? The children have turned to orphans. So today, Nigerians are orphans. And the presidency doesn't care. The presidency does not. If it's in other countries where leaders really care for their people, I don't think if Biden will be in another country and 10 people will die in America, he will not cancel what he is doing and return back to the United States. Just 10 people. But here we are talking about 157 people that got burnt. And they said that things are moving well. It's a pity.
It is a pity. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll be opening the phone lines at exactly 5 p.m., which is about 12 minutes away. We have been discussing the issues that made the major headlines during the week. And right now, we just talked about the federal government saying to Nigerians, you must endure. Don't curse the country. Don't speak evil about the country. Always speak positive things. In fact, pray for the country so that things will be better. From there, we move on to the Minister of Power saying the reason why Nigerians are not making so much noise about fuel at 1,000 naira, over 1,000 naira per litre, is due to improved power supply. It's so funny, the irony in this statement, because while he was saying this, the national grid packed up during the week.
This is the third time in a week.
And then he packed up again this morning.
3 times in a week. 3 times in a week.
The whole national grid just for Yakata. Someone said maybe the national grid should go and join one of these online prayers. Maybe it will have strength. Maybe it will rise. Because how can the power minister be saying, oh, Nigerians are not making noise about 1,000 naira per litre for petrol because of improved power supply? Does it mean that it's only generators that power their homes and Nigerians use fuel for? Do we use power supply to power our vehicles that move on the road? What about the cost of transportation? You know, when federal government agents speak like this, and then on the other hand, they come and tell us we're feeling your pain, are they really feeling our pain? Because this to me, it looks like this person is far removed from the reality of an everyday Nigerian.
Well, for me, you know, they are no more talking about reshuffling anymore. From the beginning, I know that this Adendabu will be a failure from the beginning. And
why do you say so?
He was a banker. He was a banker before his appointment.
So a banker being thrown into the energy sector, you're saying he doesn't really know much about his job.
That's what Warren Buffett called a circle of competence. You can be an excellent engineer, but when you are thrown into marketing, you cannot do anything there because you cannot give what you don't have. So Adendabu was a banker, and maybe he was doing well as a banker, but throwing him into electricity, that's not his stuff. That's not his area. I complained at the beginning that this guy is going to be a colossal failure there. This is the man that said that the reason why electricity is high because people are leaving their air conditions, their freezers.
That's the same person that said
the same person.
You don't have to leave your freezer on all the time. Yes, you are wasting power and all of that.
As if you are helping them that you pay their bill. This is happening because he is not within his own competence. But even if you are not within your own competence, you should keep your mouth shut. But saying that Nigerians are not complaining, that fuel is sending at 1,000 naira is very shameful. Because as you said, he is far removed from the reality. He doesn't know what the people are seeing that's on the road with regard that to transport. He doesn't buy fuel. Federal government is fueling on his cars. He doesn't buy food. Understand me? So for the past 18 months, he has not used his own money for anything because government provides all he needs. That's why he has this effrontery to be saying all these things. So now, and if there's one minister that Tinubu need that to sack, is the power minister. He is among the worst. He is among the worst. Even though I don't know if or they are 48 or 50. I cannot even give any of them 25%. But I feel
none of the ministers.
None of them. Mention it. Who? Mention any minister that is performing in this administration. But this power minister is the worst of all. This power minister, if he's in UK, with this statement, a protest will arise and he will vacate the office. But this is a country where anything can go. You can say anything and nothing will happen. You can do anything and nothing will happen. Imagine such a statement that Nigerians are not sad. They are not complaining that fuel is selling at 1,000 naira because there's an improved electricity. Why under 1 week the national grid has collapsed 3 times? Under 1 week. As we speak, Nigerians are in darkness because of the national grid. And the minister has the audacity to be saying this kind of a thing. This simply shows that he doesn't even know what is happening in his own ministry. That's exactly what it means. That he doesn't know what is happening under his own energy sector.
Is it just that, or the fact that this statement sounds like something that lacks empathy? Not empathetic towards what Nigerians are facing, because you're saying tighten your seatbelts, which tighten your belts, which means that things are difficult, and then on the other hand also saying people are not complaining because power is good, only for the national grid to just come and rubbish your statement the very next day. At the end of the day, who's going to hold these people accountable?
Well, one, you did not vote for them, so you cannot hold them accountable. Tinubu said that he because he sourced his own victory by himself. That it is his own money that gave him his victory, which is true. So how can you hold somebody accountable when you did not contribute to that person's victory?
All right, then it's 4 minutes before 5 p.m. Let's take our final topic so that we can also start taking your calls on the program. Bola Ahmed Tinubu University Aba is hypocrisy taken too far. Stop the personality cult now. This is according to the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HURIWA. They are saying the naming of the proposed Federal University Aba after President Bola Tinubu they describe it as an overdrive of psychophancy. They said it's the building of a needless, meaningless, and absolutely indecorous personality cult around the person of the serving president by the Federal House of Parliament. Now they're saying the traditional ruler, who is also endorsing this, does not own the Federal University built with taxpayers' money. Is wrong to have domesticated a heroin worship. No, for this one, Huriwa is also talking about an observation where the decision was made to locate a golden statue of the First Lady, that's Oluremi Tinubu, at Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife by the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi. So they're taking the two issues at once, saying you can't name a federal university after the president, and why would you erect a statue of the First Lady on a campus which you did not build with your money? That this is an overdrive, this is psychophancy taken too far. Do you agree with this position?
Well, that to start with the Oluremi Tinubu's statue, I want to assure you this is a 2024. Before 2025, that statue wouldn't be there. They will knock it down.
When you say they, who do you mean?
They will knock it down. Understand me? Students will knock that thing down. Now, then, because people donate chairs, understand me, to universities, and there may be hostels, departments are named after them based on their contribution to the university. What has Oluremi Tinubu contributed to OAU? That they will because he has become Obafemi who founded the university. Understand? So I know that within the next 10 years, that statue will be knocked down. Then, and all this are hypocrisy, just to curry favor. Then for naming the federal university in Aba after Bode Tinubu, it is a joke taken too far, because it will not even stand. It will not even stand. Just like the Niger bridge that they named the Muhammadu Buhari bridge. I told them that it's a waste of time, because even if you are in a commercial bus and you mention stop me at the Muhammadu Buhari bridge, the driver will not stop you. The driver will not stop you. So let them name the university whatever they want, but it's hypocrisy and it will not sell.
One more thing Huriwa is saying is, why do they want to erect another university when there are over 200 universities in the country? It's not just the fact that it will be named after the president. They're saying, why do we want to erect another university when there are over 270 universities in the country? And now on Thursday this week too, Huriwa is saying the bill to establish the Bola Tinubu Federal University of Nigerian Languages. This university is to teach Nigerian languages. Doesn't mean that there's no good in it, because of course many Nigerians have been complaining about the fact that many children coming up these days cannot speak their own languages, that this might actually be a good thing for the country, and this is the reason why the lawmakers are choosing to do this. So
even if it's to teach Nigerian this thing, understand, Bode Tinubu has contributed nothing on that sector. He has not contributed anything in that sector. Since it is in Aba, there are some people like Cyprian Ekwensi who have done a great deal on it. Understand? There are other people. Now, imagine naming maybe University of Ibadan, Michael Okpara University. It cannot sell. Imagine naming University of Nigeria and Soka, Ahmadu Bello University or Muhammad Buhari University. It cannot. Nobody will call that name. So whatever they are doing at Aba is politics, and anything politics is temporal. Anything politics is temporal. Imagine all the nonsense that Rochas Okorocha did in Imo. How many of them is standing today? How many of those nonsense is standing today? So anything politics is temporal. And that's what I also said when they named the second Niger bridge Muhammadu Buhari. I said that it will not stand. And today it is not standing. Who remembers it? It is still going by that second Niger bridge. And that's how this one will also go. Then for Onuremi Tinubu's statue, it cannot go beyond the 2030. Students will knock it down. It's 2 minutes past 5 p.m. right here on the number one station that gives you a voice. You know what time it is. It is time for me to take your calls and your messages right here on the program. This is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, and we've been talking and analyzing the issues that made the major headlines during the week. We've talked about quite a plethora of topics. Let me give you a rundown of the topics which we have discussed today. So when you want to give your contribution, you can just choose whichever one you want to talk about, okay? First of all, we talked about Chief Bode George, former Deputy National Chairman of the PDP, talking about how President Tinubu sent his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, to come and beg him, Chief Bode George, not to leave the country after Tinubu won the election. Now, the reason why this is coming up is because in 2022, Chief Bode George said, Tinubu is not the kind of person we can hand over this massive country to manage. He will be the greatest joke on the international plane. I'm quoting him verbatim.
And he said if Tinubu wins that election, he will leave the country. But he didn't leave. And he's saying this is because the president sent his chief of staff to come and beg him. Okay, and from there we also talked about Justice John Soho of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court reassigning Nnamdi Kanu's case back to Justice Binta Nyako, who had recused herself from the case about 2 weeks ago. That was on September 24. That's about 3 weeks ago now. We also talked about the World Bank saying the federal government must sustain its reforms for the next 10 to 15 years in spite of the hardship that Nigerians are facing, which is to say the World Bank is telling you, your president told you to tighten your seatbelt. Me, I will tell you, tighten it even further because things may get more difficult before they get better. And then the federal government saying to Nigerians, please endure, don't curse the country, don't speak evil about the country, only speak good things about the country. When you wake up in the morning, make sure you bless Nigeria the way you pray for yourself, the way you bless yourself. Please bless the country, don't speak evil about the country. This is the reason why the country keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And we also talked about the Minister of Power saying Nigerians are not making noise about 1,000 naira per litre now. Why would they do so when there is enough light? There's a power supply has improved, there's enough light for them. I mean, why would they complain? And finally, we talked about the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Huriwa, saying, why would the university in Aba be named after the president? They're saying it is hypocrisy and it is psychophancy. They are also lamenting about the fact that the Oni of Ife erected a statue of the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, at the Obafemi Awolowo University, a university that he didn't build with his money. Why would he erect a statue and place in that campus? This and more we'll be talking about. We have talked about rather, and I'd like to get your contributions, your ideas, your questions, if you have any, on those different topics which we have talked about today. My name is Choma Innocent and my analyst has been Mr. Peter Anoske. It's time for me to take your calls. Who's going to be the very first caller on the program this evening? The number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903, and then WhatsApp is 0817 175 6338 0817 175 6338. We have quite a bit to discuss. Do call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello, I don't pick your call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the recap. You might want to give me a call back, 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
Choma, I greet you. My name is Joval, and I'm greeting Mr. Peter Anoske.
Welcome, Joval. Let's hear from you.
And I always like to hear his voice when I greet him. Good evening, Mr. Peter Anoske.
Good evening.
All right. So, Choma, I want to just talk on two topics. The first, this Indian man that came to Nigeria to tell us that this reform is good for us and will begin to benefit from this reform in the next 15 years. Choma, this man can never say exactly what he said in Nigeria if he were standing at a podium in India. He will never say that kind of something there because he knows the next thing that will happen if he tries saying such a thing there. There will be eruption of violence if he should say such a thing in India. Imagine telling people who are already there suffering to wait for another 15 years. And I'm able to say that if this administration told Nigerians that it would take 9 months for us to begin to feel their impact, if you remember, it was said, and they are now projecting 15 years, Choma, in the next 150 years, there will be no better reform. So I don't think this is the way. I think it is wrong, and I think it should be rejected. The second topic I want to talk about is that if Bode George is talking to Nigerians, like I've said before, I cannot be speaking or be listening to Bode George except if he's talking to us from where he is going to be in exile. Choma, I watched him live say that on Arise Television. He said it during the campaign that if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu then, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, BAT then, emerges president of Nigeria, that he will go on exile. Rufai said, they asked him the question there on Arise TV. Can you repeat what he said? He said yes. So anybody who is doubting this thing can go and watch it on YouTube. He made that claim that he will go on exile. So until he begins to talk to us from exile, I will never take him serious. I hope you understand what I am saying.
Thank you,
if a man says something, you should stand That whatever you say.
Thank you
Thank you,
for your
Chama.
call, Joval. Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of this conversation. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello, are you
Good
there?
evening,
Welcome to the
Chama.
recap. How are you doing today?
Good evening, Chema.
Welcome. What's your name and location,
It's
please?
on the line.
Welcome, Nemeka. Let me hear from you.
I know you can hear me. Please, I just called to contribute my own quota. It's a painful issue, my dear sister. It's very, very painful that we are finding ourselves in this kind of mess as a country. We find ourselves in this kind of country called Nigeria. We call ourselves a country that everybody can come to the country and insult us and go back. Because this is a pure insult from this Indian man. It's a pure insult. Okay, all of us will be waiting for 15 years or 20 years before things will be normal. No problem. And as I've said it already, that we will turn ourselves to be a Mumu people country. And that is what we have for now. And another thing again is this. This guy, Bode George, or what they call him. We can't listen to him until he went out there. And for speaking there to us before we can listen to him. But if it's in Nigeria talking, nobody is listening to him for his information. Because these elders of today have turned themselves to something we don't know about. Normally, we elders have respect. The elders have no respect anymore. Because they talk from they have both said of their mouths. Somebody like Nnamdi George, look at what he's telling the children of the country. Look at what he's telling us. Every man like that. But we don't blame all of them. We blame the people that call themselves educated ones in this country. That all of us are in this mess, looking these men are messing us up every basic day. No problem. And this lady that is telling us to speak things about the country, we thank her very much. But she tell the people to be positive and be sensitive to reality. Let them be sensitive to reality. God bless you people, my dear.
Thank you so much for your call. Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of the conversation. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, my radio there. Good evening.
Monday. How are you doing today?
They find you.
Welcome to the conversation. Make
I
you shook
think
mouth.
good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, I have heard his voice.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Talk your own.
First of all, I want to greet Pichu for tomorrow something. Oh, God will bless him very well, and everything he do, he will go successful.
Well, amen.
So, you see, what I want to comment is that Tinubu advisor, they are not telling me the truth. That's why they would like the country to be spoiling every day. Like the head of the minister of Central Bank, how did they put it?
The
They
CBN
are not
governor.
telling him the truth. Are you hearing me?
Why
now?
do you feel so, Monday? Why do you feel they're not telling him the truth?
Yes, now people like Wike and Akpabio and the election they're doing in those states, even that new governor, they are not telling me truth. If it is time of election, they will go and gather and celebrate. They will not tell him truth. Look at what is going into the poor masses. Are they seeing the poorest of the poor? Me, I'm not ashamed to say it. Because it's not a crime to be poor. Then they are not telling him the truth. That yes, all the leaders, the followers, Tinubu followers, the Tinubu supporters, like people will see for them. They will not tell him truth.
You don't have to call anybody's name, all right? Like Monday, just talk your own. Just talk your own.
So what I'm trying to say now, the leader of APC then, all the leaders, how they are telling him he will not be traveling out of the country, knowing what is going on.
Do you think so?
Yes, so I think so, and that is what everybody know, and that is what is going on.
All
Because
right,
sometimes I say what is grounded in truth, not in propaganda.
Okay. Thank you, Monday. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
My name is Clement. I'm calling from
Welcome, Clement. Let's hear from you in 2 minutes, please.
Okay, please, I want to comment on what is going on now. You know, everybody, there's nobody in this country that does not do it. And these people, we don't absolutely, let me tell you, we don't have leaders. When we have rulers, we don't have leaders. You know, leaders can, rulers, they don't listen to people, to their followers. But leaders will always pay attention to what is going on to their followers. And everybody knows that the country is going through a lot of mess. But the people we have, that we call the so-called people we have, and we call them leaders today, they are no longer leaders. They don't see the impact of what is going on. And that is why every day we come up, people will come out and say that this is what I will do, this is what I don't do. They are always looking to their pocket. Nobody is having the format in their mind. Like the issue of Bode George, Bode or whatever. See, if you want to speak to Nigerians, or from exile, as you said, you know, it's only an old man who is afraid of death that will never speak truth. But if you are not afraid of death, and you know you want to leave a good legacy behind you, there are people who can Nelson Mandela. This is what he did. He fought for people. And again, his legacy can never be forgotten. People are still remembering him for what he has done. And today, what we have is nothing to talk about. Hypocrisy is the other of the book. No good politician. Nobody is taking the truth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your call. Really appreciate you. 2 minutes for everyone. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Shoma, the daughter of innocence. Good evening.
What can I call you then? What's your name and location, please?
I would love to hear the voice of my brother here, Mr. Peter Arnold.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Now you've heard his voice. Can we get your contribution?
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Mr. Bode George.
Is it what? Hello, are you there? Hello? I'm thinking it's probably for the best. I didn't catch that. Give me a call back, okay? 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Are you there? Don't pick your call. Oh. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. All right, you might want to give me a call back. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello?
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Please, I'm Mr. Timezuro from June.
Welcome. Let's hear from you in 2 minutes, please.
Yes. You see, my own point, I don't blame all this mess to the rulers. You know the reason? If I call them Naira Assembly now, they go say maybe I'm too stubborn. See, they are what they are. But they really mean business and mean well for this country. I think the immunity should be removed. So anybody who cannot do well, you go to let the president get in. You see, if the immunity is removed, both governors, both presidents, Anybody who cannot do well don't need to waste time there and be telling us rubbish. Was Mr. President not part of the ATC? Was he not part of the people that are encouraging Buhari to go on? Now he has taken over and telling us it's just 1 year in office, just 2 years. He has been in the system all along 8 years, getting to 9 years. So it's just a change of pattern. And they are running the same race. So what are they telling me? But if the National Assembly, they can remove somebody can muster the current to push out immunity. Let everybody be equal. Mr. President is a citizen. Governors are citizens. We are citizens. Anybody who wants to do well in Afro, let him get there. And anybody who cannot do well, let him get out. If you say he loves this man, he's doing well, let him remove his immunity and strip off his immunity. Let him see the court cases, whether he can stand and then stand there and become Mr. President, if they will not put him out. So the mess is at talk at the National Assembly and that of senator or Naira Assembly or senators. I don't. It's not the issue. It is the law that keeps him there, and people that make law are messing Nigeria up.
Thank you. Thank you for your message. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be part of the conversation. I definitely want to hear from you, or Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, Mama.
What's your name and location, please?
Mr. I think
he can hear you
this evening.
Go ahead, please. Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
I didn't hear you. Please go ahead. Are you there? Please go ahead. All right, you know what? Give me a call back. We definitely want to hear from you, or Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We make sure that you have a voice. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Innocent. How are you doing?
I'm good. What's your name and location, please?
This is Obi calling from Ikeja. I don't think I agree to you.
Thank you so much.
I think, I don't know whether you're hearing me, Choma.
I can hear you.
Okay, I think the problem we are having here, we are having a lot of old men that are in little children's body. Old men that are still wearing pampers. That is why we are going through.
Why do you say so?
Huh?
Why do you say so?
Because the way they are reasoning is, I don't think it's normal. When you look at other countries, I don't think that they have such elders that be behaving this way. People that have sold their conscience, sold the whole country to foreigners. It's unfortunate. Because even if I were at that meeting when that Indian man was talking, I will go and meet him and I will knock him on the ground.
Because so of what? Abego.
Yes, I will pick him up and knock him on the ground. So
and you think the security operatives around will allow you?
And for building statues and all this change up, now doesn't make I trust Ababa people. If they like, call it any name. They will not call that name. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Are you there? Hello, welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello, are you there? You know what? Give me a call back. I definitely want to hear from you. A Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. If we don't give you a voice, waiting we gain. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Chama, How are you, Chama?
I'm good. Oluremi, how are you doing?
I'm not bad, my sister. I do.
Where are you calling us from, Oluremi?
I'm calling you from the beautiful North London, where Tottenham just destroyed West Ham.
You can't relate with what we are going through in the country now. You can't relate.
I do, my sister. I do. You see, what is the major problem Nigeria have now is the death of moral principle. I have been one of the advocates of scrapping the traditional ruler institutions, the Oba.
Why so?
Crown is responsible for many crime over the time, over history. And back in the days, they tell us it's the gods that choose traditional ruler. And when our dear father wrote, the gods are not to be blamed. Now, we this generation, we are asking, if the gods are not to be blamed, why did the gods allow themselves to be used for corruption? Look, the Oni of Ife have simply disgraced the Yoruba traditional institutions, erecting a statue of Remi Tinubu. What contribution has he made to the Yoruba race as a person? Tell me one spectacular, remarkable contribution she has made to this race. Nothing. Now, this woman donated 1 billion naira. 1 billion naira to Ife. My dear, how did she get that money? And University of Ife, disgrace to the academic community. Why would you collect money from a woman whose sources of incomes are not known? Her husband never declares assets. So we have every right to be suspicious of their spending. We want to know what they're worth. For you to be able to give 1 billion of your money out, you need to tell us how you made that money. In the UK, where I live, if I wake up today and say, Chioma, you look good, I'm donating £50,000 to you, the government will knock on my door the next morning. They want me to explain how I get that money, because annually I don't even help to £50,000. So it's a disgrace. We need to be worried. And the only problem is the death of moral principle, and everybody just go for money. I think Oni of Ife should resign or get impeached.
He should resign or get impeached. That's a traditional stool, Oluremi, not a political one.
He disgraced the Yoruba race.
So who's going to impeach him?
Look, I think the chief should impeach him, because he bestowed honor on a woman whose sources of income are not known. What about if she stole it? We did not say she did. We are not accusing her, but we have every right to be suspicious, because we don't know what she does for a living. And the wife of a president, first lady, is not a job. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Oluremi Abati, for calling all the way from North London, where Tottenham has just done what, Mr. Peter Noske? You were so happy and invested in that particular.
It was just a 2-1 on Stammy, so it wasn't much.
But they won now. It's the winner is what's important. It doesn't matter what the winning margin is. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You're also watching the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Yes, watching because we're streaming live on YouTube. All you need to do is head on over to the search bar and on your YouTube app and type in VOP 903 FM. And yes, you can get to watch the program live on YouTube. We've been discussing issues that made major headlines during the week, and I want to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of the conversation. If you would rather send a message on WhatsApp, it is 20817 175 6338. Guess what? You can also call me up on WhatsApp, and I'll be here to take your calls to make sure that I give you a voice. For Voice of the People 90.3 FM, we're here to make sure that we give you a voice. So you know what? Call me up. Hello there. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Turn down the volume on your radio set. Give me a call back. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. I want to hear from you. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Are you there? What's your name and location?
Good evening, sir.
Welcome to the program.
So,
hi. What's your name and
I beg,
location?
if you see my message, the reader.
Dayo from Fagba. Hey, Dayo, this one you called us today.
For the sake of national peace.
Dayo, your messages are always so long and drawn out. He can hear you.
Good evening, Mr. Arosike.
Good evening.
Yes, this is Dayo from Fagba. In the same country, by now they will have impeached both Tinubu and Shettima by now. But our senators.
Are you saying Nigeria is an insane country?
They said on his mandate they shall stand. So they have all been compromised with 160 million jeep, right? So that's why we are in this nightmare. How can two people leave a country and they are saying they can rule from anywhere. Where in the world that can happen? Joe Biden cannot even leave the United States. Even there was an incident recently in US, and this storm, this hurricane or something like that.
Yeah.
Joe Biden has to cancel his trip that I want to do there. He has to attend people, and that is where life matters. But life matters. You want to see people killed due to tank explosion in is it Jigawa State?
Yes, in Jigawa State.
It shows that these people, they don't have empathy. They are just there to milk Nigeria dry, tax people unnecessarily and every other thing. That Jigawa incident could have been preventable if Nigerians were engaged. Maybe if there was life, or maybe people can go to their farms and farm. If people were engaged, the casualty might not be up to 10 or 20, but see where we are now. 150 people died, and a serious president will have cut off his trip and come down to sympathize with the people. But these people, they are just there living a cruise life, and this is where those cash and carry, INEC and judiciary have brought us into, and that's why we are in this nightmare. So blessed are those who do not expect from these people, for they shall not be disappointed. It's a shame that the worst of us is really the best of us.
Thank you, Dayo from Fagba. You
you
sound exactly like the messages that you send, and that's the reason why many times we can't even read them because they're so long. But thank you for your contribution. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Oh dear, give me a call back. I definitely want to hear from you. Our Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We want to hear from you. So call me up right now, 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, good Choma.
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
My name is Neka. I'm calling from Bolado today.
Welcome, Neka. Let's hear from you quickly.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Nasike.
Good evening.
Okay, my take today is from Mr. Ojo Zokalo. Ojo Zokalo recently told Nigerians that the president is feeling our pains. He's seeing all the sufferings we are going through. He doesn't sleep, he doesn't rest, that he walks around in the night. My Chama. How can the president be walking in the night? Is this spirit that he sees in the night, and they are his intervening spirits, and the spirits told him that Nigerians are going through pain?
Neka, out of everything we discussed today, that's the only one that concerns you?
No, please. No, I'm talking my.
Yeah, keep coming.
Okay. So I don't know whether it's spirit that President Tinubu normally sees in the night when he's going around the Abuja, or I don't know whether it's Osifo. One of the ardent callers, Mr. Peter Osifo, is the one accompanying him in the night, because Mr. Osifo
please leave Mr. Osifo alone. Let's just have your own opinion. Please, let's leave Osifo alone, please.
About
Ejo Biko.
Anything. Every time he calls, he's talking Fubara. I don't know whether Fubara came with his voice. Does Mr.
You can't say things like this on radio, Neka.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Shoma. He's Mr. Osifo is the only one that supports that Nnamdi Kanu to remain where he is.
Don't worry, leave Peter Osifo. Let's have a conversation, okay? Don't worry about Peter Osifo.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What about all the other topics which we discussed today, from what the World Bank is saying to what the federal government is saying, that we should stop cursing the country? Let's be blessing the country.
Why shouldn't we curse the country?
Because there's power in the tongue.
One things are going well. The citizens will be talking or saying well about the economy. Things are not okay. They are taking us here. Nigerians are going through pains, and they're telling us that we are going to endure for the next 10 to 15 years. What does that mean? Is Tinubu going to stay in the office in the next 10 to 15 years? No is the answer. So why is the World Bank telling us they will think good today, the next day we speak negative about Nigerians. And then all the Lagos boys there, all the Lagos boys that Mr. Turubu carries to Aso Rock, that God is getting us there. He's getting us there. The Senate President, Mr. Ababio, is the worst president Nigeria has ever had. That is, okay, I think we can eat wherever we see food, whether you are invited or not. That's what Mr. The Senate President told Nigerians, that any place you see food that you can eat, whether you are invited or not. I beg, Mr. Chairman, my sister Chairman, is very disheartening. The Dayo that spoke now always or normally say that the worst of us is doing the best of us. That's a reality. It's a reality. Please, Chairman, have a nice day.
Thank you, Neka.
God bless you for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Neka. 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, Choma Innocent.
What's your name and location? The way you used to call this my government name.
How are you, my dear?
I'm great. Is there anybody from Spain?
Yeah, good. Yes, I'll greet Mr. Nasike.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Okay.
Serena, keep it polite and civil.
This thing is this. Nigeria. Okay, there's no problem. You know, I'm ashamed because of this. Is it not? What is it called? I don't want to know their name. This thing. But I don't know that. If it is not here in Europe, the protests, everybody will block the street. The Bayonodiga will just go there. They will also for Bayonodiga to be sacked. For him to justify this thing that president and the president can rule from any place, it's very, very shameful. You know, this is not this kind of thing. The president cannot just travel, even here. You know, people always use America, and I know which people are used to England and America. You know, a place in Europe that people, even on holidays, you see people, see a leader traveling to any place, unless they are meeting. And this kind of thing that happened in Jigawa, you see them the next day they will be there. If they did not, if they did not show their space there, the next thing will just go for impeachment. People will call for their impeachment. That's how things are done. But here in Nigeria, you see people traveling. See the Shetima and the Tinubu is not in the country, and somebody is trying to justify it. Just to justify his payment. I don't know if he has the children, if it is my listen, I'll just be ashamed of himself. I'll disown him, you know. So I don't know. And in Nigeria, I don't know. One other thing is this: Nigeria is just, I don't know exactly what this thing. You know, people sometimes people used to say that people are that preparing to steal are more than are just even more than the one that's stealing now. That's Nigeria. It's the sacrifice we just kill that and I finish that is what is finishing that I try to finish that country. You know, that I remember those days in during Abacha time. All the party, all of them could pick Abacha as candidates. This guy was only this in MD Yusuf was only one and then one in his party. When Abacha died, if you see all of them raise alarm, if you all of them that this thing is just everybody was just saying about against Abacha. All of them pick him as a candidate. That was when this MD Yusuf raised alarm that where we are all these lions when Abacha was still alive. Tinubu, tell me what Tinubu have done for them to use for this Carlo this thing to just for this thing university to be named after this Tinubu. Just for him to be recognized, for him to to play a good person, a good boy. Maybe the next thing now they say that you be the house of this thing. Or maybe pick him as this thing. What a shame. You see, in the same country, this man, this Tinubu and this thing will be just an impeachment. Just they let them move. Even they will not come back to that country. But in Nigeria, you see, everybody will do everything to just justify this thing. Look at people died. And president is not there. This thing is not there. It's not there. And somebody is trying to justify it. What a shame. Disney, I don't know exactly what this thing is because of time, people would just for let other people to talk.
Thank you,
the World Bank of a thing is, if Nigeria wants to be okay, they should ignore that World Bank at the advice. No country that I go what we do a World Bank have this. You see, if Nigeria want to be okay, you see anything concerning World Bank, they should still just remove themselves for that country to be okay. So, Choma, for this thing, Mr. Nosika and this thing, I've said everything. Let me leave it for now for others to talk.
Thank you so much,
Have a great day, my dear.
Thank you so much, and you as well. Thank you so much. I think we have space for about 2 or 3 more calls that we call it today right here on the program. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello, are you there? Welcome to the recap. What's your name and location, please? Give me a call back. I can hardly hear you. 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, Choma.
Hi, what's your name and location?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. This is Michael from Chile.
Welcome, Michael. Let's hear from you.
Okay, I'm greeting Mr. Nnamdi.
He's greeting you too.
I just want to ask you a question. What is the value of woman's life in this country? Do we really value our life at all? And another question I want to ask also is, why is it that the wife find a solution for every of their problems? If there's any problem, they solve it by themselves. But in our own country, we always believe that our problem will be solved by God. Why? How can in this country everybody is just suffering and everybody is waiting that God should intervene? How can God intervene in something that has nothing to do? Oh my God. This is just the question I want to ask. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much for your call. Before we proceed on taking more calls, let's take your comments on our YouTube platform. Then from YouTube, we'll move on to WhatsApp. And then we'll take about 2 more calls before we go. Ikechukwu Aliyeye says the best radio station so far. Thank you, Ikechukwu. Sonny Steve says greetings, VOP. Greetings, Sonny Steve. And Akonwa Nosike says Nigerian government free Nnamdi Kanu. Ikechukwu Aliyeye said the best thing that could happen to Nigeria and Ndigbo is to see Nnamdi Kanu being freed. AB Waneri says I still can't understand why the Nigerian government is still holding Nnamdi Kanu hostage up till now. Many people are coming up clamoring over Nnamdi Kanu's up to date. Ebinwaneri also says Ndigbo wake up. Alade Olaminike says if Bode George decides to keep his mouth shut, he's entitled to his opinion. Ikechukwu Jude said let them free this freedom man. Abidin Adeyemo says FAAC shared 1.298 trillion naira in September 2024. Federal government 424.867 billion naira. State government 453.724 billion. Local government 329.864 billion. Oil producing state and 90.415 billion as derivation revenue. Where is the money? Chinedu Agba also says Chemanovex or Nnamdi Kanu said that this country will not work. And again, we think it's a joke or just saying things, but look at things, you believe him in totality. Abubakar Baba Sadiq says up Peter Obi. Oriyomi Abdul says good evening my people at VOP. Good evening Oriyomi Abdul. Okay, let's take this call before we start taking our WhatsApp messages. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello there. Welcome to the recap.
Hello.
What's your name and location? Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
My name is Yakubu from Maryland.
Welcome, Yakubu. Let's hear from you.
Yeah. When Bode George they talk, although he have a right, to me, it's a political job. Bode George is a political job. So it's not a serious one at all. And again, those are our leaders. Let me just say fake leaders. Honestly speaking, God will punish all of them.
Okay, you can't say that on radio, Yakubu. I'm so sorry. You can't say that on radio, Yakubu. Thank you for your oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. We'll now move on to taking your WhatsApp messages. All right, I greet you, Chioma and Sanosuke. Please ask Tinubu to resign. This is Henry Uba from Festac. I don't have his phone number. I would have given it to you, Henry Uba. Good evening, Madam Chioma and Mr. Nosuke. I pray for Nigeria, and I'm also crying for the poor. I wish our leaders will feel what I'm feeling. Everybody will die. I remind them. Thanks for your good work. Living news from Onikpano. Good evening, VOP. It's a pity that our so-called elders in Nigeria don't have integrity, which has trickled down to the present generation. Who takes them serious anymore? For the World Bank deputy from India, a poor nation, comes to Nigeria and tells Nigerians that they should bear hardship, and he was allowed to walk out just like that. I've asked severally, why would Nigerian president aspirant go to UK? It is a shame. Good evening, Chioma and Mr. Nosuke. It's quite unfortunate to the so-called leadership of Nigeria is misleading. In an ideal civil society, the leaders who are sincere will have and show empathy in their attitudes, but the reverse is the case. Nigerians are really suffering unjustly while a few leaders are comfortable and gallivanting. The existing deplorable roads in Nigeria are crying for attention, but the Lagos Coastal was approved. As for me, it's a misplaced priority. Our economy needs to be revived. We need leaders with vision. I wish Nigeria a better tomorrow. Thanks, Emeka Ihejirika from Lagos. Dayo, I believe you've already said your piece. Honestly, I cannot even take this message right now. Chioma, no vex. So, Nnamdi Kanu said that this country will not work again, and we think it's a joke. Edu CIA from Imota, Ikorodu. Good evening, Sister Chioma. The man from the World Bank is delivering a message that Bola Tinubu asked him to read. Were you there? Within himself, he knew that Nigerians are suffering, so there is no way he can say that. On the issue of Senate President removal, it's only him that they should include. It's not only him, but they should include Mr. President because he's not performing. He came on to pretend that he wants to heal the land, but instead he's making it worse than how he made it. Ifedayo from Egbeda. Good evening, it's Adeyemi Kamaru from Satla Town, Lagos. Instead of Peter Obi saying President Tinubu is in France and Shetima is in Switzerland, Peter Obi should go the whole hog and confess to Nigerians that when Tinubu was fighting for democracy between 1993 and 1998, he, Peter Obi, was working for Abacha. It's better to be in France on holiday than to be in bed with a kleptomaniac dictator as one of his lackeys. Adeyemi Kamaru from Satellite Town. Good evening, Sister Chioma and Mr. Peter Nosuke. British Nigeria is still slaves to British. They are the ones that decide and choose our leaders. Nigeria is a country where everyone can mess up with look at the way an Indian man is talking to Nigerians about more years of suffering. Though Nigeria is the world center of suffering and smiling, Bode George is not a man of his words. I personally believe that he will be in exile by now. Nigerians are suffering while the federal government mold the statue of the First Lady. It wasn't the federal government, it was the Oni of Ife. Nigerians, which way? Let them release Nnamdi Kanu. Prince Ayotek from Arena Market. Wilfred from Sulere says the Minister of Power should be arrested and jailed for that treasonable statement. He made that statement under the influence of stolen mandate because his brain is divided into two halves. On the right side, there's nothing left. And on the left side, there's nothing right. Wilfred from Surulere. Good evening, Chioma. Psychophancy is the most important tool in the toolbox of a typical Nigerian politician. The problem with psychophancy is that the user only seeks for his benefits at the expense of the larger society, and it doesn't care. And the consequences of the society may last for a very long time. Raphael from Alimosho. Chioma, greetings to you and Mr. Nosuke. My concern is about the comment made by Adelabu, the energy minister. That man lives in a bubble. How many times the national grid collapsed within 2 weeks? These people are taking Nigerians on the ride. His people in Ibadan are protesting, begging the military to take over government. Why are they making such a demand? Square peg in a round hole. He should stop mocking Nigerians. Daniel from Oshodi. Good evening, Chairman Sanosuke in the studio. It is a joke taken too far by this administration to rename the university in Aba after President Tinubu. This is a new university that they want to build, all right? It's not the renaming. Because wonder shall never end under APC. I am Purposeful Godwin, presently at Ilewe, Ejigbo. Good evening, VOP. I'm happy Nigeria is going down. God answer my prayer. Nigeria must go down. No. Nigeria will never go down. Stop saying negative things about the country. Did you not hear what the National Orientation Agency is saying? Stop saying. You have to project positivity into the country. Choma, I want to let you know that the World Bank is trying to arrange an escape route for Tinubu, knowing fully well that after 8 years, Nigeria will be worse than it is right now. By then, they will ask us to endure the pain for another 7 years. What a shame. Okangbelina from Mafoluku. Good evening, Chairman, Mr. Peter Nosuke. Kudos to you people for your good work. I just define what I will give my family this weekend. Hunger is killing us. The hunger in the country is too much. You didn't tell us your name and where you're writing from. There is a saying, prior proper preparation prevents poor performance. It is glaring that this government has nothing to offer but lies, excuses, eye service, hypocrisy. Imagine your president and the vice president saying they understand the hardship and the nightmare they put Nigerians into. Like Dele Farotimi said, you cannot bribe your way into power and expect development. All sectors have been compromised. I challenge the journalists to invite the president to an interview. The question is, will he come? Concerning its 1 year plus governance, its performance and policies, by Ononuga won't allow it because he will be embarrassed and disgraced because he has nothing to say. It is a shame that the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. Dayo from Fagba, I already know your handwriting. Good evening, Ademi Kamaru from Satla Town again. The gravity of alleged offences is the primary reason for his continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu, made public broadcasts urging them to kill police officers and Nigerians armed forces. I have no problem with people calling for Nnamdi Kanu's release, but what about the troops and other service members who have lost their lives in the southeast? There is no country on earth where you ask people to kill the nation's military and other service members and it will not be considered treason. Amarachuku Amabulegba is saying the hunger in the country is just too much. And yes, we're heading back to YouTube where we have some more comments. Umaru Kadri is saying free Nnamdi Kanu now. Umaru Kadri is also saying hashtag revolution now. Okay, I think I'll take this final call and we'll call it today right here on the program. I'm trying to take your call. The Lord is my shepherd, but unfortunately it's not connecting. You might want to call and give me a call back, but this is the very last call I'll be taking on the program today. I don't try to make a pick your call. Ina de Walkie. All right, heading back over to WhatsApp. Patrick Lumumba said that it is not only military that carry out coup, but cash and carry judiciary also carry out coup against the people. Okay, one more call and we'll call it today right here on the program. Who's the lucky chap? Welcome to the recap. Good evening. You turn off the volume on your radio set before you call me. Oh, come on.
Hello, Choma.
Hi. Please turn off your radio set.
This is Elder.
Thank you, Elder. Welcome to the program.
I'm calling from Oshodi.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Anna.
Thank you so much.
I want to say there is no need costing Nigeria the way the other person has said. So what about the corruptions that's been going on in the various sections? But whatever that is happening, what I know is that there has been so much. How will I put it? A kind of causes that has been upholding this country. How can a president be patrolling in the night? It has been happening all 2 years.
Patrolling in the night, but that's not what was said that he patrols.
Election that they introduced a association of witches and wizards. Whatever that has happened at that explosion is not ordinary. So what I will advise each and every one of us to be in prayer. And my prayer still goes this way, that every Goliath that is holding this country captive will leave us one day. So many of our people has been holding captive. So, in roundup, my prayer is that all our people that have been holding captive must be released. And in hashtag, let them release Nnamdi Kanu for us. And may the souls of all the people that has died at this Jigawa explosion rest in peace.
Thank you so much.
Nigerians must be in prayer. Seriously. Our president is not in the town, around. He's not around. He has gone out. He flew. The second, the vice flew out. So who knows? But all I know is that every force that has been holding this country, I pray that they will not succeed in whatever way.
Thank you, Elder.
So let us digest this statement I have released this evening. In any way you can think of it.
Okay.
The power that is holding this country captive and the bloodsucker is not ordinary. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Elder. Yours is the last call we can take on the program today. Oriyemi Abdul is saying, people that say we should not say negative things about the country simply because we're speaking the truth, why can't their own positivity reflect on the country? All right, Mr. Peter Anoske, time is fast spent and it's time for us to go. I'd like to get your concluding thoughts on everything we've discussed today and, of course, the contributions from the callers and people who sent messages.
Well, I say that Bode George is not a role model. It is not a role model because any real man stands by his words. Any real man stands by his words. Then on Nnamdi Kanu, I join all the people around the world that is calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu for Tinubu, because Tinubu is the one that is holding him, not the court. I'm appealing to Tinubu to set Nnamdi Kanu free because Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience. Nnamdi Kanu is being persecuted. He did nothing wrong and should be allowed to go without any condition. So that's my take.
All right, then. You have been listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. This is where we've discussed issues that made the major headlines during the week. And we thank you for tuning in. We'll do this again, same time, same station next week. You can find me on Instagram at _the radio girl. You can find VOP on all social media platforms at VOP903FM. And you can find Mr. Peter Anoske on Instagram at PeterAnoske77. Do join us again, same time, same station next week. And remember to do the best that you can to make Nigeria better in your own little corner of the world. Stay blessed.
The #1 station to free your soul.
The Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
If you want to be heard, say it here. On Voice of the People 90.3 FM. People 90.3 FM.
You have to know the past to understand the present. So let's bring you up to speed on important moments in the polity that you might have forgotten.
Politics as normal have been suspended today.
Detailed review plus analysis of all the local.
Senate moves to recover 6 trillion naira ground